much thankful to my mentor as well as a delegate of IEEE 10 Region 10, Ma'am Dr. Professor Shelia Shenaz, for giving us this chance to learn from academicians, scholars, and researchers. Thank you all. Thank you all. Reward Shub Dayo.
Thank you. We can see we do have Lamia Miss with us. Lamia Miss.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, Dr. Ashish Khanna, thank you for joining with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, earlier there was some uh, internet connection problem was there. I also wrote on the chat section that my voice is visible or not, is audible or not. So can I start right now in case, because the allocated time was 1:40 to me.
Yes, yes, we can understand that. Okay, we can have a later on if we got time. We will have a more.
No, it's all right. I can
session.
just start right now also. Actually,
Yes.
at very short notice, I have been given the opportunity to speak, and I want to thank Professor Celia. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I think my voice is clear to all of you.
Yes. So if you you are already the co-host, so if you want to share, you can share. So
Yeah,
let me
means
introduce to everyone to Dr. Ashish Khanna. Dr. Ashish Khanna is Associate Professor, Maharja Aggression Institute of Technology, IEEE Delhi section. He would give us like speak on the topic of importance of research on sustainable growth to survive and grow in post-pandemic era, a journey. So I would like to request Dr. Ashish Khanna to continue.
is my PPT audible to all of you?
Yes, we can see your PPT and we can hear you as well.
Okay, so the thing is, let me discuss. Am I visible to all of you?
No, we cannot see your video, but
Okay,
we can
just a
see
minute.
your
Just
PowerPoint
a minute.
slides.
Perfectly all right. We can see your slide.
Okay. Good
Please
morning,
go
everyone.
ahead. Please
Good
go
afternoon,
ahead.
everyone. I think I'm visible to all of you.
Yes,
And
sir. We can see you and we can hear you
okay.
as well.
Okay.
Loudly.
Thank you very much, Professor Celia, for inviting me to share my views on this topic in this pandemic era that we are facing right now. The whole world, which is facing right now, is a very critical situation. And as the topic is with me, is the importance of research for sustainable growth to survive and growth in the post-pandemic era. I would like to, although I have not created that much of PPTs, but I would like to, as I have written that there is I will share a kind of journey with all of you, and will try to motivate the students and the faculty members over here that how we can cope with the situation. As the title itself says that what is the importance of research is means first of all, what is the research actually? We have a lot of things come to our mind whenever the word research comes, especially in the mind of the student that research is a very heavy word, and we should be part of it or not, because already there is lot of pressure on us of the academics and everything. But let me tell you one thing, that research is something we do in our daily life. From a small kid of 3 to 4 years is also involved in kind of research only, because when you are searching something and again, then how we can, what is the simplest form of understanding a particular word is to divide it into two parts. It is read plus search. So if you are searching something again, you find some new information into it. And for example, if you take a particular book and if you are reading a book once, and if you go through that book again, you will find something new. So similarly, as far as the research is concerned, research in our South Asian countries, the maximum kind of research which is happening is the incremental research. Incremental research is something, if I hope that you all are from computer background, as I am from the computer background. So it is, for example, if an algorithm has a complexity of order of n, and if you develop a complexity, a new algorithm, more optimized kind of algorithm that has a for example, the complexity is order of log n, it has better efficiency. So something, this kind of research is incremental research. We are not doing we are not exactly, means the most of the things which are we are not proposing anything out of new. So the type of research which is happening over here is like the incremental research in the most of the sub or region. So let me just want to tell you something, that what do you mean by sustainable growth, to survive and grow? See, there is this sentence, the sustainable, I will try to collect all the words together. What is the importance of research is, what is sustainable growth is. See, why I have written to survive and grow, because right now everything has been stopped due to pandemic. We are not able to go out. The students are not able to go out, and students, all the factories, academics, everything which is means everything is at standstill right now. So the thing is, important point is, we are into new world right now. This is new normal for us, and the result, the something like that I want to tell you, that it is very important for the research community to come up with new innovative solutions, especially the students, the faculty members, the research community, and the industry people, to come up with new solutions, so that which can be adapted. Let me take one example. In Delhi, what happened was, there was a BRT, a BRT, that is a roadways kind of transport system was there, that in South Asia, the something, I am also working on VANETs, that is a vehicle ad hoc networks also. So this is a something very interesting example I would like to share to all of you, and then I will come to I will also like to tell you something very important, that how research should be done and how it can be connected. The BRT was launched in Delhi when way back around more than 10 to 15 years back. It was introduced. That is a European system. For dedicated lines are there for buses, dedicated lines are there for cars, dedicated lines are there for but in South Asia, most of the thing we have not this kind of system. I'm not aware about exactly about the Bangladesh, but I feel that we all are we all belong to same region only, so have similar kind of habits and everything, and all the culture is also similar to and we are following same practices as far as the government is also concerned. So the thing is, when it was introduced, it was a total failure. Means I would like to tell you, means crores of millions and millions of dollars was spent on that particular technology. So what we learned out of that technology with that failure was, now that has been scrapped, and the same road system has been used, that anyone can go on the road, and the same road is used for the heavy vehicles also, for the lighter vehicles also. So the thing is, why that was a failure? It was a best that is actually a very good system. As far as Europe is concerned, that system is really very good, because but important thing is, it is not necessary. This is very important point for all of you, for the students, for the people who are actually associated with research. When we are implementing for human welfare or something, in actual in we are implementing, it is very much necessary to understand the local conditions. It is not necessary that if something is good for a particular person or a country, is also necessarily is also good for the other country also in a similar manner, because we have to make certain changes. So here, see, now what I've given you an example of incremental research, and I'm also giving you one more example, the kind of failure of a system which is a very successful and actually a good system, and how to implement it. So as a researchers, you all have to keep this thing in mind. If now let us take the example of I am also working on COVID also in data science. I proposed some books also. I have written some papers also. Russia has taken out one vaccine. But why all the countries are not rushing to where the if we take the example of South Asia, it is really suffering like anything. Now South Asia has actually emerged as the main hub for COVID. And India is growing like anything, and I'm sure the other parts of the regions are also affected like anything. So the thing is, we are not rushing for the same vaccine, because the thing is, Russian people could have somewhat different kind of DNA or the body parameters than us, than the South Asians. So it is important first to understand the vaccine, to how it is actually affecting. We should not be rushing for the implementation of for vaccinating everything, because we don't know what are the after effects. Because once the mass vaccination is given to all the people, then we don't know what are the clinical results are for that. This is something which I'm sharing is really very critical, and it's also which is coming out of my mind also, that although I don't know how the medical community will react to it, but as far as the any vaccine is created, the vaccines are actually made out of 10 years of trials, because everything is, for example, I just take example of I was just talking to one very high professional, a reputed person from Springer. So he was telling me that a new diabetes drug has come into the market, and he was discussing it, and he was a type 2 diabetic, and he said that a new medicine has came, and should I use that or not? He said that no clinical trials have been happened. So the thing is, clinical data is something which is created once the time actually passes. So in case if the vaccine has some kind of negative effect on the human beings, so it is actually dangerous. You can just see in the America, a lot of people are opposing this, that for the vaccination. So the thing is, we have to wait for this thing, because if the entire population is given the similar kind of vaccine, so we don't know how all the race will be affected. So let us actually, COVID is my area also. So I thought to discuss some important points with related to this thing. So let us see that as far as the sustainable growth and survivability and this thing is concerned. So one more important thing in post-pandemic era is that we should be taking out the new technologies which is equipped with to face this kind of situation, because we all have faith that within 6 months or year this situation will change. And but we should be prepared for this thing, that as we don't know that in near future also we have to face similar kind of conditions. So the new technologies should be backward compatible, should be somewhat which is ready for these kinds of pandemic, and which are modular in approach, so that we are not we cannot change some kind of things into it, and we cannot perform some modification in it, so that it can be adapted for the new situations. So this thing I would like to these are certain points which I want to tell you. Another thing is, see, as far as I also represent a group that is a Universal Innovator Lab. We into Universal Innovator Lab, we are actually associated with certain research initiatives, like doing conferences, ICICC, ICDAM, and very latest, we have also given the permission from Springer. That is a conference that is on doctoral symposium also. So, but important thing is, I would like to tell you to the student community. I'm sure that one word is there is a known as startup. Okay, startup is a very important word, and I think we were the first body. ICICC was the first conference in which actually the startups and the research both were given the same platforms. We invited around 20. That was a new initiative. I would like to request to all the faculty members. We have very senior professor with us. Professor Celia is with us. So these we all can go for, because nowadays conventional workshops, conventional conferences, and many things are going on. But important point is that what actually the outcome is, how we can actually take out the maximum benefit from these things. Because whatever research, for example, it is a very I want to tell this very frankly, the kind of research papers we all are writing, what is the outcome, how it is helping the human welfare, how it is actually helping the nature. So the thing is, we have to come up with the more innovative solutions where the young minds can actually work with the academia to take all the benefits of the research. So what was the main idea behind that initiative of ICICC was, and that was actually a successful one. We got the support of all the professional bodies related to startups. An important thing is a person like me from academics actually initiated that, and it was a very tough time for me. And in those 3 months, I conducted on around 100 meetings, because see, this is also a lesson to all the students. Without hard work, you cannot achieve anything. So you have to work very hard. That's something that because actually the thing is, now you must be thinking that how I moved into the startup thing is that because even after remaining in the academics, I am associated with publishing houses, because we have run publishing houses that is very successfully. We ran that. We are running certain startups. I'm also onto the platform of certain startups where the funding is provided. I'm directly in connect with this thing. Recently, my student got which I shared on the Facebook also, that that is a health product startup is there, that he receives around 35,000 USD, that is 2.6 to Indian INR. He received this much of amount. So on our platform also around 29 startups were there, and out of that 22 got the kind of the funding was approved from them. So important point is that as for example, if I consider myself or Professor Celia is there, she has a rich experience of academics and research. Why not her rich experience is connected with a particular startup? Because what is a startup? Actually, the startup is, it is an innovative idea. It is a very innovative idea, which is actually filling some kind of gap into the actual world. So you take any example, Amazon, you take any example, all these successful, Ola, Uber, everyone is actually a startup, and they realized, they saw that there is a gap is there which can be filled. And due to this online, this is the 5G is coming, where the internet is like anything, in few seconds anything can be downloaded, anything can be uploaded. So we all, the students should, with the fast brains, because the coming generation is always much more brighter and is more intelligent than us. That's why the 20 to 25 years of people of the students are competing with the people who have experience of 40 to 40, who are of the age of 40 and have experience of 15 to 25 years of experience, and they are just doing all the things like they can anything. But important point is, they need the success ratio is actually very less. Then why not the academic people or the research communities or the people from the industry who have a lot of experience can actually join with these young minds, and can, with the help of their experience, for example, if I take one example, very simple example, if for example, if I'm launching a particular website or a app which is showing some kind of for example, it is related to food industry, okay, yeah, or health industry. Let me take one very simple example. For example, nowadays Ayurveda and in Bangladesh there can be some local medicines also, which is not actually related to allopathics, can be there. So lot of those kind of treatments are available. So health industry, if you create some kind of algorithm which actually checks which takes the input from the user, that my physical condition is this thing, and what kind of actually the products should be introduced to me. One thing is the direct marketing, that you take these products. One thing is that. One thing is indirect marketing, that what you are doing is you are actually taking the input from the user. It is kind of that you are actually winning the trust of the candidate, that yes, this particular community or this particular group is scientific in nature. It is not giving the vague kind of solutions. So you have to think differently. So there is a very this is only one idea which I am sharing with you, on which we have actually worked, and we have implemented that thing. And so similarly, the other conferences like in ICICC, in the next version of the conference, what we are trying to connect is we are trying to actually connect the industry with the research. So we can also we will be also means these things are these things are really important for all of us, that we should be coming up with the new solutions. And so this thing only I want to share with all of you. And with this, I would like to thank you to the organizers for inviting me on the platform. And I will be happy to take questions in case if you have any. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ashish Khanna. It was a very helpful session on research. So there is one question, it's actually a common question for us as well. With our researcher, the publishing house, there are some fake and there are some journals or publishing house who actually focus on mainly the financial part. They take some money and they publish it for you with a very short period of time without proper review system or without having proper indexing as well. So what do you think, how researchers should uh, identify and find out a proper publishing house?
Sure. This is a really a very good question. And in fact, this is the problem which we are facing in the research world nowadays. Lot of fake journals are coming up, and the students, especially from, remember this thing, thousands and thousands of lakhs of papers are actually submitted in the international journals, reputed international journals. And as soon as they saw, they see that the paper is coming from India or the South Asia, they are even not going into the review. So one thing is that we have to increase our reputation. Although a lot of Bangladeshis, lot of Indians, lot of Pakistanis are working in reputed institute, and the world knows our intelligence level now. Bangladesh, actually, I have a lot of praise for Bangladesh, that Bangladesh has emerged as a very fast growing economy. And I'm really watching Bangladeshi companies, startups. A new hub is coming up actually. So let me come to the question. The question is that how to identify. So in fact, there are certain if you will just Google it, how to identify the fake journals, there are certain websites are there which actually enlist the fake journals. And the other thing is, if there is no peer review is there, so all the students should know this thing, that yes, this particular the conference, the journal, or any other this thing which is taking the research paper is not good for us. And remember this thing, they are not checking the plagiarism. Important part is that they are not checking the plagiarism should be below 20%. And even if you will just read once the abstract also of that particular paper, the already published paper, you will come to know that this is actually all the means this is not a good venue for us to publish our work, because this actually gives us bad name. Even in the initial days of my career also, I published one or two papers into these kinds of journal, but I very in a very difficult I know how difficult it was to take out my paper from there. So we have to be very much careful. As far as the research is concerned, research or PhD, the people who are involved into researches, the results are slow, but we should be, the important thing we get. With this question, I would like to tell you one thing. The students always say that what actually the research is giving to me. Okay, if I say that BTech students are there, as far as in India is concerned, if I'm teaching BTech students, there is a fashion. The students are either taking the jobs directly, or they are going for MTech or MS. And third thing is they are going for MBA. I want to tell you to all the kind of students that research is actually important. An important thing is you should work under a good mentor, like Professor Celia is. She has a very good academic record. So the thing is, mentor is very important. She or he will guide you that what actually the how to write a paper, what are good practices. An important point, a very important point over here is that research actually makes you a complete person. See, when important point is not that what you are producing, even if you are producing a survey paper also, the important point is the journey. The when you are interacting with your mentor, when you are reading lot of papers. I always give one very simple example to all my students. For example, if we consider or relate to a mountain journey and something simple thing is research is your research will be appreciated only by the outer world, only if it has something innovative in it, if some surprise element is there, is some kind of incremental growth is there in. So it is like a journey. See, for example, if you're reaching a mountain and you are just you are just doing a particular flag over it, okay, you are placing some stone over it. So important point is you have studied all the things which have till this particular time has been invented or have been produced. So important point is the journey, and you have to read all the things. So in the related work only you will, it is like, I also take one more example, that always the static friction is always greater than the dynamic one. So once you have overcome the static friction, once you have read all the papers, so you will become more patient. Okay, you not rush to the solutions in your later life also. For example, if I take the example of the people who are joining the industry, when new products are coming to you, you will not take the shortcut mechanism. All the codes are available on the Google. You all know these things. My mentor used to tell me in my BTech days that as far as the coder is concerned, the coding is a simpler one. Even if the testing, which is a less paying jobs are there, but testing, still in the testing we are using our brain, that how to create some kind of the test cases. So you have to, we should not, because once the student has done some kind of research, he is used to this thing. It will make you a better human being. When you actually whenever the problem is coming on your whenever any problem is coming to you, you always start from the scratch. So that is actually important. So for the students who are going for MS or even in the MBA also, as far as this thing, for example, a new product is coming to you, how you have to do the marketing. Students will a fresh MBA can directly go to the market and just launch it. But if a experienced MBA will be there who has seen some kind of research product, or who has gone through some kind of this kind of journey, will always study the impact of launching it, if this is feasible or not to launch this kind of product or not. Okay, so he will be with plan A, plan B. So everything will be there in his mind once he is joining this thing. It also actually research improves you totally. So this is I think I have given a very broad answer, but I'm sure the answer is clear to all of you. Thank you.
Yes, I do definitely agree with you, and I always say to my students as well the similar way. We have got another questions. It's a good questions as well, and I think it's relate to us a lot in third world country. Like student, mostly lots of the student doesn't have proper funding. So IEEE and some paid journals requires lots of huge payment for publications. So, and also there is additional charge for open access. Well, open access gives us more uh, uh, to
More visibility.
more visibility. So
Yes.
we can get more references. It gives us more good output. But on the other hand, it asks for more money as well.
Yes.
So, do you have any suggestion that how to manage these funds or how to comprehend these funds somehow?
See, this is a very complex question, actually. The
Yeah,
so
we all face this.
yes, we all face this thing. So what I feel is there is a some kind of miscommunication is not the right word. Some myth is there that in maximum of the government universities and the the directors and just consider the open access journals as the journals which are not suitable to publish. But I would like to tell you, although I'm going in a different way, I will come to this your question. But I want to clear one myth that open access journals are also good journals. As far as I have around 50, 60 SCI papers with me, but the most difficult one was to publish it into the census. It is a very good journal and it has a very high fees also. I was able to arrange the funds through a project. We are into a particular project, so we paid the fees from that. But I would like to tell you that that was the most difficult paper for me to publish. The reason was there were around 8 round of 8 round was of reviews was there. So it is a myth that all the open access journals are bad. It is not this like this. Even the free journals also have the same thing, that even if you go for making your paper open access, you have to pay high fees. So as rightly said by the sir, that open access gives more visibility to the paper, more citations are there. As far as the research is concerned, if you're writing a research paper, it is not important that you have written a research paper at a particular level. Although as a student, it is important for you to write a research paper. But as far as the researcher is concerned, the the quality is checked, that how much it is cited, how many times it is cited. So again, it is a different. There is another way is there that papers are cited in a wrong manner also. So let us not go into that thing. So important point is as far as the concerned, the open access journals is generally for those people who can arrange the funds, or where the university support is there, or where the government support is there, and where, for example, if you are working on a particular research project and some kind of funding is available through this thing. And there are certain bodies, there are certain funding agencies are there, which are for one agency I know from South Korea is there, which is actually helping to fund these kinds of innovative ideas. So obviously, if these kinds of funds are provided to the innovative ideas, so at that time they must be taking some kind of credit out of it. They must be taking some kind of means more access to their technology, so that they can also use that particular technology. So this is a distributed world where if we are paying something, so if someone is paying on our behalf, so we have to give some benefits also to that particular community or to that particular body. This is a complex question. So for as far as I am concerned, my suggestion is for the student is to go for the free journals only, and there are a lot of other avenues. And one more thing I would like to tell you is that as a South Asian, I would like to share this thing, is that there is a myth is there that only the SCI journals are good, only the Scopus journals are good. I used to talk to some good researchers from US and from Europe who are actually against these kinds of practices. Any destination, if any destination where the standard procedures are followed to our research works actually gets appreciated. And see, whenever you are searching a journal, you always have to check those journals. You check those journals which you can just download certain papers, that when the paper was received and when the paper got published, or when the first this thing is this information is available on the paper, on the published papers. So if the time gap is very less, you can go for those this thing, isn't it? So according to your requirement, you can choose the destination to reduce the time gap. Okay, so this is my answer for all these students.
So Dr. Ashish, can I supplement one line?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Because the question was about only the students.
Yes.
We really recommend our students to get a mentor all the time.
Yes.
Because we want to publish in journal, and the students who are like the budding researcher, so if they publish journal and they try to publish journal without mentorship and without advisor, there is a high chance that, that they may not get insight about the potential of or outcome or the contribution of the research, that has to be focused. So it may get rejected and they may get frustrated and they may leave research. And moreover, there is a funding problem also. So always I recommend our students to kindly find a mentor, and it is mentor's responsibility to arrange the fund for you. And he or she will actually decide that which direction he or she will go and which journal he or she will submit based on the availability of the fund, and you rightly pointed out the need of the time. So this is actually the mentoring thing is very important for research.
So,
We really do not inspire only the student papers.
Yes, ma'am. Also, ma'am, I think the the question was, as rightly said, it was very complex, and only just a new researcher cannot give the whole view. What's going on in that complex world, in research world? Those who gain, at least publish more paper, more and more publishing paper, it's an experience, it's a journey that we learn by experiencing it, by publishing different journals, and we'll come to learn it. And we see the impacts in different journals. So definitely, ma'am said, we definitely need a mentor to guide, because it's a very easy to go in a wrong direction.
Of course. And to get a wrong idea for lifetime.
Yes, absolutely
And
right.
propagate the wrong idea to many people.
You're right, ma'am.
Yes. So better to get a mentor. And
yes, it
so
is important.
Yes, it's very important. And we have to depend on the mentor because they are experienced. And that will anyway benefit us. There is no way that it will harm us. It will benefit us. That's the
I would
guideline.
like to take one example that mentor acts actually as a catalyst, and catalyst is something which fastens the rate of reaction, isn't it? Without getting used into it. So the students should be thankful to the faculty members that they are taking so much of pain, and I can saw that Celia ma'am was working till late night, and I was receiving so many messages from her, and she's I just salute to the lady that she's doing very much of hard work for the students. So we need mentors like you, we need people like you, and important thing is she is acting as a interface between the three countries. I heard that one person was from Pakistan, India, and from Bangladesh. So all the people are connected on one particular platform. So this is a really good thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So Dr. Ashish, our many speakers, they have left, but we forgot to take the photo. So before you leave, let us take a photo, Tansir.
Sure.
Yes, I will request all the participants if you can kindly turn on your video.
I want to tell one more thing. Students are always welcome. I'm always available for research collaboration. Celia ma'am is there, sir is with us. So students who want to work in joint projects can always contact through Celia ma'am and sir, and I'm always open to help all my students and even the startup community.
Exactly. The pandemic has created this opportunity.
Yes, definitely.
If we cannot take it now, we cannot do it ever.
Yes, this is the best time for this particular region, where lot of people, the whole Western world, the America and everyone is looking to us. So it is very much important for the students to come up with the innovative ideas. So this is the generation, and the people like us also are very important. We have to play a very important role, because see, what I feel is that importance of teacher is to show the way. It is the actual person will be the student who will be taking the initiative and to complete the task.
Yes, they will be proactive. They will be proactive, and their proactiveness will help us.
Yes,
and will
yes.
encourage us to do for them. actually. That is important.
Yes.
Okay, let us have the group photo. Dr. Ashish, thank you for your time. I know you had a class, you had a lab, still you made your
Yes,
time.
yes.
Yes, it is important for the students to start the research from the first year, I should say.
Yes, absolutely.
Starting at the fourth year and then getting very less time for publishing a paper and ultimately resulting in no paper and then getting away from research is very misleading idea. Why don't we start from the first year?
Yes.
So my message to all of you. Let's have a photo. Thank you, Ramesh. Your talk was very good.
Thanks a lot for inviting me and giving me the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
So, ma'am, I'm taking the snap of the first page. And now the second one. And now the third one. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So, Tansir, your polls are finished. Shartoki, what about the polls?
Yeah, we are continuing with the post. Actually, we just saw Lamia Miss. Lamia Miss, would you like to share something with us?
Lamia is here. I was calling Lamia.
Yes, ma'am.
Lamia.
Thank you.
It has been wonderful to listen to the last few speakers and extremely insightful points for our students and all the young professionals. So thank you for sharing. And I would also like to thank Celia ma'am and everyone who's involved in organizing all of this today. So wishing you all the best for the rest. Thank you.
You are a young professional, Lamia.
Yes,
ma'am. Lamia Miss, let us have an interactive discussion on one thing I would like to focus maybe. We have a lot of talk on e-learning. So we're still struggling a lot on e-learning, and still our students are. So what you think, or what's your experience, is how to make e-learning interesting and how to make this more popular?
Well, bottom line thing that I would mention is, of course, this has been a huge learning curve for not only our students, but also for us, right? So just like I'm learning, my students are learning too. And if we can consider the entire mindset as we are in this together, it is not, somebody versus somebody else, but it's we are a team together. So then we can learn new technology, we can learn, share the best practices, get the feedback from the students, and also the students can tell us that what's working and what's not working. I would suggest that the best way to do it is try as quickly as possible and fail first, fail as fast as possible, so that you get to figure out the good
Yes.
practices as soon as possible, and not be afraid to take really, really bold steps.
Yeah, my experience as well. I have different classes. I have taken different strategies to find out which one works better. How to even because now teacher doesn't have a teachering role. It
Right.
has IT role and all the problem solving, their issue solving, lots of. So next, ma'am, I would like to one other thing. What makes you continue your IEEE membership after student as an YP or young professional?
Oh, this would take forever. I can continue, but I'm trying to figure out the one or two top things, but there are so many ways. So it has been 11 years. Okay, I have been IEEE member since my undergraduate time, and there has not been a single moment I have felt that I don't want to be part of the IEEE family anymore. In fact, every year I'm more excited. There are so many more opportunities. There are so many more things to do, things to look forward to in my membership. And previously as a student, it was the amount of networking and the opportunities I had. I met, we were just talking about having good mentors. I met some of my best mentors through the IEEE platform. That was true as a student. That is also true now as me as a faculty member. Some of my best mentors, Celia ma'am, Fatah sir, these are all from the IEEE platform. So, and it continues. And aside from my own personal benefit, there is also this other therapeutic side that really helps me in my career is I get the best bunch of my students through IEEE. You know, the filtered, the cream of the crop. And it's so refreshing to work with them. It's so refreshing to see them grow over the span of a couple of years. And for example, Maisha is here. I've seen her grow from day one. And this is one of the most satisfying feeling I can ever get as a teacher.
Yeah, I mean, like experiencing and having interaction and to be honest, having a relation out of the classes, out of the, I mean, usually teacher-student relations or interactions are limited within the classes, but in IEEE we can expand also within the university and also within the whole Bangladesh. We have created a lot of big network. I mean, also that means that only studying is not everything. And for me, I think IEEE gives a lot of skill building platform. Like, I mean, managing a whole event. I mean, online event, everyone thinks it's easy, but it's not. I mean, we can see Celia ma'am. At one point, I was going to say, Celia ma'am, please have a rest, go to sleep. We need to open this event in the morning. So, but ma'am was here at the time. Even I got her last email at 4 p.m. I think, 4 a.m. But I think through IEEE, it gives us a lot of good platform to practice different event management skill, leadership skill, communication skill, you name it, lots of skill out of, I mean, other than just studying itself, because now just studying is not enough.
And said one
Yes,
very important point that is very conflicting for me all the time. People make a huge difference between academic activity and IEEE activity. They always like to separate it. It is not
Bangladesh.
in Bangladesh.
Yes.
Yes. It is not separable. IEEE activity is very much part of your academic activities because it is the largest technical and professional organization in the world. And it is you may have many clubs. Since I like music, I may be part of the music club. I may be part of the recitation club. I may be part of the dance club, or I may be part of the acting club, debating club. But IEEE is the only organization which is directly related to your engineering education. And that gives you better stress management, better city class test handling, better problem solving capacity, and better diversity, because you will lose the habit of working with one friend only. You will learn the habit of working with anyone, Because when you will move beyond your undergrad study, you will go to a new country, a new lab. It's not your childhood friend. It's a person from Pakistan, a person from India, and person from Egypt. So that time you cannot say that I cannot work with that person. Sometimes in the lab or somewhere we say, no, I cannot work with that group. I'm habituated, comfortable to work with this group, this friend. So at that time you cannot say this. So take IEEE as a platform to learn this habit to work with anyone, to push beyond yourself. And it is very much part of the academic activity because you are taught MATLAB workshop, Arduino workshop, Simulink, many workshops. And I have seen the people who have joined those workshops, they did very well in the lab. So it is complementary and it is keeping you far ahead in your peer group. So please do not make it separate from your educational activity. It is the, I should say that it is an important catalyst of your educational life. And if you think in that way, you will never leave IEEE. And our STEP program will be successful. Is it okay?
Yes, can I ask students,
Yes.
would you like to share anything with us? Like any graduate student, what are your concerns or what are your requirements from IEEE as a whole or IEEE YP? What do you expect from IEEE? Or in simple questions, why, if you want to be a member, what will make you take the membership of IEEE? Anyone? I mean, that's one of the things I found it for myself as well. I was very shy at the very beginning. I didn't have that many friends. I graduated from North-South, and during North-South time, IEEE, I graduated in 2007. I was 03 batch. But while I was graduating, there was IEEE. We just heard about it. So some of our faculty was talking about it. We just partially formed actually. I forgot about that. We did completely able to form the student branch at that time or not. But of course, that time student IEEE means it was mainly practiced in BUET. We didn't experience that much, but I tried to be part of it at my final year. But when I actually went outside for in UK for my master's degree, I made my first friend through IEEE. That was my icebreaker. Do you have IEEE? I heard about IEEE. So that was my experience for being part of IEEE, because when you go abroad, it's a big world out there. Now maybe lots of people know about North-South, but at our time, North-South was not known by many people. But IEEE, everyone knows about IEEE. Some people even don't know about Bangladesh, but they will know about IEEE. So it's a tagline that stays with you as long as you being a member, not only a member, an active member. So we will have our last session. Before that, we would like to, okay, we have one question. I especially expect MATLAB Simulink workshop and also share workshop in IEEE STEP verified page in YouTube. Okay, first of all, IEEE STEP is the event where we actually bring the young professionals and students or graduate who are going to be graduate soon or who will be who are in final year. We bring together in one single platform and we try to communicate with them, and we try to make a bridge. So yes, MATLAB Simulink workshop, that will be great. So if you are from a student branch, please contact with us. From YP, we can arrange a resource person who are expert in MATLAB Simulink, and we can have an online, because since it's a simulation based, we can have an online workshop very easily. So that's great. If you contact us through your student branch or directly, you can contact us, we can arrange that. At least we can arrange the resource person, and then once you got the resource person, you can easily arrange it, to be honest. You just get his available time, and then so International Islamic University Chittagong, yes, you guys get contact with us. You can email me, you can email Sajid sir, or you can email any one of us from YP. We will happy to help. Okay. So I would like to share one other thing, that is the e-learning in IEEE platform. Okay. So I would like to show my screen, and what you need to do, all you need to do is to go to Google and IEEE online courses or skill development course. So there are some certificate programs in IEEE, education. If you go to IEEE educations, there are in education part, you can go in education part, and then you're there, you can see there are certification programs, and you have got learning network, ILN, and you have got IEEE resource center. So if you go, you can go to certificate programs. Okay, let's go one by one. These are the, first is the training catalog. So this is the training catalog. So you can look into career development, power, energy, engineering, technology, computing, telecommunication, English, IEEE standard, transportation, so much. There are so many things is going on. So if you just say emerging technology, you are working in a project thesis, you want to know, you want to find out hot topic for your project thesis, you can go here, and you can see here, you can find the course content, artificial hacking, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. You can select online courses. If you, there are 103 online courses. There are like application finite element method modeling, optical wavelengths, bioelectronics, electromechanics. I mean, there is so many topics to work with. These are emerging technologies. So you don't have to wait for a workshop. You don't have to wait for anything. So here you see access is free to members of IEEE Brain community. So Brain community, there is a one community, and it for IEEE member, of course, this one charges a little bit, but there are some free courses as well. You just need to find it out. There are some free courses. Let me sign in. If I sign in, once you become a membership, if you are a IEEE member, you will get more benefits. Again, I forgot. I think I forgot password. So this is one of the issue sorry, not one of the issue. It was my concern. I'm just sharing my experience. Here you see, technology makes you boring. I don't remember my password anymore. It's stored here and in the computer, and I just forgot about it. It happens to everyone, but I would suggest that it's not about your uh, memorizing what you can memorize. I was always bad about memorizing, and I was never good at memorizing stuff. Okay, so search the catalog. I don't know whether the free would work, free courses. Okay, onboard energy storage and other technological solutions, cognitive light trains in terms. So introduction to IEEE 802, you know, these are the wireless communication standards, and these are like understanding voids on flip chips interconnects. You can find different one, and some of these online courses you just have to browse accordingly, and you can see onboard storage academy. This one I think duration 1 hour, and since I'm the member, it's free to me. Once I was not member, it will charge for you. But if I'm using my account, it's so here is e-learning, tutorials, webinars, IEEE TV. There is so many access. So there is the video recording, event recording, and it happened in 2017 in webinar. I was like busy with something else, or I couldn't get time. But whenever now, if I want to see, instead of going to okay, so this one, so you just have to find out the free one. There are so many webinars you can go through, so you just have to look into. So this is one of the aspects you can see, check it out as being IEEE courses. There are so many courses, categories, all levels, any lengths, and there are, you will get certificates for these definitely. And if you are a IEEE member, some of the good tutorials and some of the good courses, there are free, some of them are not free. So let's see. Okay, so from my university, we have got some access as well, so we can access on some. Let me see. I don't have any of my courses. I don't have any of my courses. So this is the paid one, being an IEEE. If you are not into IEEE, or if you don't want to, you can also go some free one. So can I ask you, do you know or have anyone gone through some hello? Hello. Can you guys? Did I just started my screen sharing now?
Yes,
Yeah, it was
sir.
not shared before.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, I was just talking, and I was just trying to show that e-learning platform in IEEE. So now it's, you can see. So if you go to this education IEEE website, IEEE.org, and then you have got the learning network. And if you go to that learning network, then
Here,
you
our
will
next
have.
speaker joined. Just for your notice.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So I'll just, here you have got all the featured topic, career development, power engineering, all these, and you can choose and you can find this. And you can just watch a video if you need to know more. So I will stop there. So we will resume our, so we do have Fatah sir with us, Honorable Fatah sir. So I would like to welcome Dr. Sheikh Fatah sir, Professor and Chair of IEEE Hack Education, and Chair Advisor, and also Advisor of IEEE YP Bangladesh section with us, and he's being everyone in Bangladesh, at least with IEEE, you definitely know about Fatah sir. So I would like to welcome Fatah sir to talk on the history of community engagement for sustainable project design in post-pandemic world. Hello sir, if you like to okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tansir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm sure like it was a very useful event for all the young professionals as well as young enthusiastic IEEE student members. Just give me a second. Okay. So you can see my screen, okay?
Yes, sir. We can see you, we can hear you, and we can also see your presentation slides.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
So I'm given the charge that I will be talking about. A very important, I feel it's very important, necessity of community engagement for sustainable project design in the post-pandemic world. I think we all are in a very critical condition, passing through a huge pandemic. There is no doubt COVID-19 pandemic has created a lot of problems, both in, different sectors, economic as well as social problems are there. So now what I would like to discuss about the post-pandemic, what should we do? Even at this moment, what should we do? So if you are asked to design any project, so which factors you should look? Because you, as a volunteer, you cannot just go outside and start doing volunteering work the way you did before. The situation is different. You have to think twice. And which perspective is important at this moment? That is also important. And you have to have some basic knowledge that will help you to have a successful project done. So you have to know some keywords, buzzwords, so that yes, you are giving some effort at the expense of your time, risk. You have to eventually get the job done in a proper way. That's why in this session, my objective is to give you some sort of ideas or knowledge that you need for designing a sustainable project, even in this post-pandemic condition. What would be the most sustainable project? So generally what I do, like when I am discussing, you have to think something in your mind that, okay, what project should I consider? So at the end of the day, I mean, after 20 minutes when I'll be ending, so you have to have your own project ready. So what I can do here, I'll be assisting you. I'll be telling you some rules and regulations, some laws that will help you. But eventually you have to brainstorm a new project that will help. So that's perspective. I want to tell you that why don't you first close your eyes and think about a project that can help your community. For example, you can see, okay, I'll contribute in the health sector. I'll contribute in the education sector. I'll contribute in my local agricultural aspect. I'll contribute for the purpose of societal service. It's required. I'll do something for the children. I'll do something for the rehabilitation for those families, those who have lost their near and dears. I'll do something for those who have lost the jobs. They're suffering. I'll do something for the small businessmen, small business entrepreneurs. So, I mean, you are young professional or you are going to be young professional. So society wants something innovative from you. So my request, you first think about your ability and think something that you can do. Whether at the end you will be able to do or not, it is more important to think something. If you can think something, then it will come out. If it is come out from you, then we all will be aware of your thought and we can focus on that. So maybe today, if you can express something, that will help each other. We can learn something from you. What you are thinking, maybe I am not thinking in that way at all. So that's the objective, that's the advantage when you are in this big gathering. So here we are more than 50 people, I can see. So I'll request you to communicate each other. You have the access, your chat box is there. So why don't you communicate your close, near and there? You just write, you just click your chat box and write to someone nearby to you. So what do you think if I plan to do some agricultural work? Will it be worthy? So please think something, 1, 2, 3, 4, any one or two. So I appreciate your encouragement, your continuous participation during my talk. So what I expect, please, in the chat box, write what is suitable for you, what you are thinking. I will read that. Please write your name and some affiliation that will help me to read. Okay, that's my first request. So after 10 minutes, I'll be having a break. So I will want to see what you have written in the chat box. So definitely, I'm sure you can have better idea than me. So again, I'm planning now to tell you more about some sustainable project design that will help you for the post-pandemic scenario. So here, my recent involvement in IEEE. So basically, I am here talking in this perspective. I am education chair of IEEE Global Committee. So it's a humanitarian activity. We directly report to the IEEE directors, board of directors. So I am the chair there, serving as an education chair since 2018-19. This is my 3rd year. So my basic job in this perspective to give the sustainable development, humanities and technology, and this type of educational material preparation. So we are also running, I'm running the education forum. So IEEE Humanitarian Activity Educational Forum. It's very popular now, more than 400 members there. So we have online courses, so you can take, that's free. You just have to enroll there. So you can learn a lot. There are 5 modules, 2 new modules are coming. One is just launched and the other one will be launching very soon. So apart from that, yeah, my day job, I'm professor at BUET, also director at Institute of Nuclear Power Engineering. So I serve for IEEE Access Editorial Board, and also I'm the editor for PES E-News. And so I'm serving IEEE PES Long Range Planning Committee with the board. And as I said, I have some other IEEE affiliation. So I was section chair in Bangladesh during 15-16, and I'm chapter chairs of different society chapters in Bangladesh. For example, Robotics and Automation Society and SSIT Society. So this is a brief about myself. So as I said, first of all, I'll give you a brief idea about the project to be done, the objective, how you will be involving other people in that project. So what will be your action plan? What will be your ultimate deliverable? And that's impact. So COVID-19, I just treat it as a war. You can see during the war, soldiers with arms, weapons, they fight. So they use huge arms and animation, and so they are equipped with like these tanks and those stuff. But here you can see the difference. During COVID-19, also you need the soldiers. This picture is from Army soldiers at the very onset of COVID-19, February 2020. So you can see the way the soldiers are working. That means you have to adapt with the situation with your project. So that's my message, that COVID-19 is a war. You have to fight, but not with the gun, not with the weapon, but with your brain. Many situations you have to tackle very tactfully. So that's the comparison. Instead of these tanks, you need some sort of something, disinfection robot or disinfection cars that can also throw something that will disinfect. So that's the analogy I was telling. So here, what I'm telling again, my objective is to train you. If you are going to do a project, so as a project planner, how you'll prepare a good project that can serve a better way. The first question is what? What do you want to do actually? What should be your scope? What should be your objective, your goal? That's very important. So in this way, in this connection, I want to tell about one global approach that is called sustainable development. SDG. This word is very common. This is a buzzword, sustainable development goals. So the sustainable development goals, what does it mean? The sustainable development means you meet the present needs without compromising future generations' ability to meet their needs. You want to do something here, you do that, no problem. But remember, while you are doing this, don't never do something that your future generation will be missing something, will not be able to do something. Don't please ruin their future. You do something, but always think in mind that you don't have the right to destroy future generations' hope, future generations' ability to do something. That is called sustainable development. So to achieve that, United Nations have given a very precise sustainable development goals. There are 17 goals. You may ask me why 17 or what is the number? Why this number? This is achieved, this is agreed by all the UN nations. So these are very important. No poverty, zero hunger, so good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water. Most important for our case, many of our case, affordable and clean energy. So decent work environment and economic growth. So industry, innovation. So in this way, there are 17 goals, required inequalities. So many of them, you have to think very precisely, they are interlinked. If you want to achieve something, you can also achieve the other goals. For example, life on Earth or life below the water. Climate change is an important issue. Peace, justice, that you have to follow. So responsible consumptions, you have to always be very responsible. Sustainable cities, required inequalities. So these are different 17 SDGs that we all are committed. Each and every country, we are committed to achieve these sustainable development goals. But you want to meet the goals, that means you want to meet your needs, fine. But remember, always there are some limitations. You may want a lot of things, it doesn't matter. You have to always consider the limitations you have. For example, solar plant. So if a group of villagers, they decide to use all these vast lands, cultivable lands for solar power, because they don't have the power. Maybe nearby villages, they have the power, but they have to think twice whether all these vast cultivable lands can be used for solar power plant. Is it okay? Do they have enough? So that's the compromise. You always have to think twice, but before doing whether it is okay for your future generation or not. So that's the first thing. Whenever you are trying to do any project, first you decide which sustainable development goal to be met up. SDG, which one you want to meet up. And then right away you think, okay, you want to meet that, whether you have any other limitations. It's very important. If you have limitations, you have to consider that. So that's your first step. The next step, for whom actually you are doing this project. You are planning a project for whom? So it's for your local community. That's very important. People, so community people, some leaders, community representatives. So you want to do for them. So if you want to do for them, then you have to understand their religion, their culture, their habit, their preference, livelihoods, their resources, capacity, skill. You have to understand that. How much land they have, where they live, the way they are living, their housing, their environment, that you have to understand. Just you want to do something, it's not enough. Even if it's very good, even it has a lot of merits, it doesn't matter. For whom you are doing this project, first you have to consider that, and you have to go there. You have to talk with them. You have to clearly understand who is your beneficiaries. What is your community? Who are your stakeholders? That's a very important question. So identifying the stakeholder groups or the individuals is very important, because there are many issues. There are many demographic relevance, geographic relevance. So direct engagement. So you have to understand the stakeholders and consider this demography, geography, or whether they're directly engaged or they'll be just taking the benefits. So these things, first you have to understand who are your stakeholders. Then you have to find, if you can understand who are the stakeholders, who are the beneficiaries, it will be easier for you to understand the needs, what they need actually. So if you don't understand the need, you never cannot have a better idea to solve it. So you have to understand the community context. So how important each of these, what you want to plan. So is there any previous attempt taken by, NGO or government to solve similar problems? You have to take in consideration those issues. So this is my message, that before going ahead to perform any project work, first you have to understand your community, and principles of effective community engagement. You will understand that these are very critical. So you have to make an inclusive planning. inclusive everybody. So each and every person you have to identify, and you have to make sure what is their need. You have to cover all those demographic diversity. So you have to be openness in learning new ideas, because sometimes you don't know their culture, their habit. You have to adopt that. If you want to do good something for that community, for example, you want to, after COVID-19, you want to do some rehabilitation. So you have to go there, and you have to, maybe they are now suffering severely, their businesses are going down. So you want to bring some new jobs for them. So your job may not be suitable for them. So you have to understand what was their practice, what skill they have. Otherwise, you design something, you bring it to there, it will be failed. No doubt it will be failed. But before doing anything, be careful. You have to have a transparency and trust. If they don't trust you, no matter whatever you take in front of them, even that gives them a lot of profit, they will not start doing that. They will think that something hidden inside and you have some other motive. So they will not be cooperating you. So transparency, trust is very important. So you have to do something very rapidly. Time is passing. So having an impact and action to make a difference. You go there and do something and create a difference. Then they will be understanding. If you do very slowly, they will not be impacted, and that may not affect them. So they will not be understanding your motivation. So eventually you have to maintain a sustained relationship. So that's the key points. You have to understand after COVID-19, when you want to do some project, sustainability of a project will come if you perfectly understand the community. So communication with the community, delivery of information. If you are delivering information in a very difficult manner, it's good for your journal paper, but not good for the community. They will not understand. So your language should be very clear. It should be very low level language so that everyone can understand what's your thought, what's in your mind. So you have to always take the community feedback. So asking questions very critically so that you don't have to ask a same question repeatedly different times. Make a very good questionnaire in a planned manner, ask them, then you will be very set. So reach to every corner of that community. That is important. So you should not be very late when you are engaging a community. So once your plan is done, your project proposal is ready, already you are implementing maybe some disinfection robots, then you are bringing it to the area and then you will be operating there. People may not be accepting that because maybe that type of robot will not be suitable even to work in their house or in those areas. You have to from the very first, you have to engage your community. And remember, in the community, there are different types of people. So you can see very interesting graph, x-axis level of interest of stakeholder, y-axis influence of the stakeholder. If you see some stakeholders, they have a very high influence and they have a very high level of influence, manage them closely. Unlike who doesn't have any interest, who doesn't have any power, you can keep them in a easier way. You can keep them less priority. In this way, you can manage the whole community. So that's the community engagement, what I said. Our next step is how you will be planning your project. So before going that, as I promised, I want to check what you have done so far. So let me check our chat box. So that's the key thing. I know that is very difficult. So I'm telling you, if you just listen, you will never can understand what is going on there. Please write something. What is in your mind after COVID-19? Like during this post-COVID, what you want to do? Write something, whatever you want. You just write something, I want to do this. As I said, it is your responsibility. At least you have to think. Even if you don't think, then it's not a good thing. Like, you know, so at least you think something. Okay, I'll do this, or I will help my community in this way. We'll be having a group and we people will be acting in this way. So please write something. Please write something what you want to do after this pandemic. Anything. Then it will be easier for me to discuss with you directly. What is in your mind? We can help you. How can you do that? Where the fundings you will be getting? Or whether it is a good plan or bad plan. So please write something in your chat box rather than just listening or sleeping. So if you write something, you can have a flow to discuss. That's always a good practice. So my request, if you write, then you can definitely, you can learn a lot. So the next quick step, what I will be telling you, how you will basically operate, how you will basically implement the project. So that's a very important issue, how you will implement your project. Well, so for implementing purpose, we can use the term participatory project design. So as far as I'm telling that community engaged project you are dealing, so it should be participatory project design. That means everybody in the society should feel I am a part of this project. If you go there as an intruder and do the project and come, it will not be a good sustainable project. And especially at this moment, they should feel that you are doing for them and you should feel that they are with you. So your community should be always participatory with you. This level of engagement is very important, as well as belongingness to this project by the community is very important. We have to do consultation. We have to do the collaboration, because then we will understand the social, religious, cultural aspects of that particular community. So you have to find their needs by taking proper feedback. More and more feedback can give you the right dimension of the needs. Then you can have a good solution, the solution that will really work. So I tell that these type of projects, especially when you want to deal with the social problems in a big society, then it's always a multidisciplinary involvement. So different knowledge domain people are required. For example, I mean, even people from social science, law, or even engineer, doctors. So different domain people you may need to work together to have a good success. So we call it system thinking approach. So instead of thinking, okay, I will be doing something for the next 3 months, finish. No, you have to have a long-term solutions. You have to open your eyes, open and think widely. So you have to think wider context. It's not only 2-3 people you are solving the problem. Because whenever you will be starting solving the problem for 2-3 people, other people will have an expectation from you that you will be solving their problems too. So that's why it's a holistic approach. You have to have a wider viewpoint to solve global problems with local solutions. So you have to understand the causes behind these problems. Each and every family may have different causes. Their demography is different. So you have to understand that and move accordingly. So you have to always think about the resources that community may have and utilize them. Rather than only thinking that I will be giving them something. They may have something. You have to utilize that. And rather you have to do some capacity building. Whatever they have, you add something, so they will be empowered, your project will be going very fine rather than bringing some people from outside to carry on the projects. Always there is a threat. Whenever you want to do some good things, you have to consider possible threats. So this is called SWOT analysis. Yes, you have to understand your strength. So skills from your side as well as from the community sides, capacity from your side and the community sides, these resources, these uniqueness, these are your strength. But there may be some limitations. For example, you are not having the enough fund. You don't have enough land. You don't have enough manpower. You may have some difficulties, weakness, but you have to identify that and act accordingly. If you can't identify that, you can't do anything. So also you have to understand what are the opportunities you have, and accordingly, what are the threats may be there. Maybe delay or stopping, these are some threats. So as I said, when you are doing a sustainable project, you have to think long-term planning. So yes, there is a long-term planning, but you do phase by phase, but always give the long-term vision to the community, to the outsiders. You do phase by phase and always try to do modular fashion so that easily you can scale up your projects. So you have to consider the existing practice, the way other people are doing this same problem, how they are solving. For example, government or NGO or foreign agency, you have to consider the financial conditions and the other factors like social, ethical, those factors. Also, you have to be very careful about the technology, because we engineers, we always think that, yes, it's a very nice design, efficiency is very high, it's beating this method, that method. But ultimately, you know, nobody in that community may be interested to use that one. Whatever they are using, maybe they are very fine, they're happy. You are thinking it has this problem, that problem, but maybe they are not thinking it's a problem. So that's why it's not necessary always to bring a very high technology, modern technology, sophisticated technology. It's better to see what technology will fit there. Rather, you have to just, in some cases, maybe upgrade something. Because if you are bringing some high technology, who will take care in future? Who will do the maintenance? How will be expanding? So these are critical issues that you cannot just bring a high tech and just imagine that will work. There is no problem. So that's few things I have said about how we'll be implementing. And the last one is why you are doing these things. We call it theory of change. That means you want to bring the change in the community. They are suffering, so you want to reduce their sufferings. So in this theory of change, definitely you have to give some input. For example, if I say that, okay, they are suffering from this electricity, that can help them to solve other problems. So your input will be fuel, a generator, some man hours, that will be your input. Input means what you can see, what are the inputs you are throwing. Output, okay, you are getting some energy, that's your output. You can also megawatt, you can measure. What is your outcome? You see, if you can bring the electricity in that particular area, for example, let's see, they are not now capable of paying the high rate of electricity. You do something for them. Something, I'll not tell, but you have to imagine something for them so that they can get the electricity. This disruption will not occur. So you do something, then what will happen? What do you think? Yes, they were not getting electricity, they are now getting electricity. It's not enough. For that electricity, maybe children, they will be now able to learn more, read more times. Parents, children, they can have more entertainment. So these are important factors. As a result, what will happen? If you give them electricity, they will be having some better environment. And who knows, ultimately, that is called impact. they can be modernized. That whole villagers can be modernized. They can be moved to a different types of society. Their quality of life will be increased. So that's the eventual impact. So this is the change. You have to understand the change. So input, output, you can measure. So this much dollar you spend, that much dollar you are getting or energy getting. But the final impact, you cannot always measure by dollar. It has to understand, you have to understand the impact. So that is, we call the social impact. So you give input financially, you know what is financial return on investment. $100 invest, we get 150, so your profit 50. But when you are talking about social impact, that means respect to each other people is increased. How do you measure the respect? That's a big question. So this type of their happiness in their family increase. How do you know what is the happiness? These social aspects, if you want to measure, it is not measurable, I don't believe. It is measurable, but you have to know the way how it can be measured. So that is called social return on investment. That means input may be $1. If somebody says SROI, social return on investment, is 3, that means $1 of input is providing you 3 equivalent dollar of social benefit. So this social benefit has to be measured in a special way. For example, you say they are enjoying better health condition. What do you mean by better health condition? Maybe the amount of health insurance they were spending before, or the amount of money they are spending for the health sector before, and how much money they are spending now. What is the average health sector expenditure per family per year? So this information, if you know, then you can have an idea about this social impact in terms of dollar, in terms of money, in terms of taka. That means equivalent to social return, equivalent component you can find out. So that is the end of my talk. So if you want to do a sustainable project design to fight against the post-COVID-19 pandemic, you need to understand the community. You need to understand what you want to do, whom you want to serve, whether they actually need it, what they need it. Then you have to set your goals. And the goals must be sustainable. So you have to have long-term vision, not the short-term vision, as we think, system thinking approach. And finally, even to serve a specific community need, you need multidimensional complexities. So multidimensional complexity, if you want to handle, then you need interdisciplinary domain expertise. So thank you for joining this session. I hope you have gained something from this discussion. So good.
It was always
there. Yeah.
So,
thank you.
It was always, I mean, I guess everyone is tired. We've been here for very early in the morning from 10. In between, there were some classes. I believe there are classes BUET going on. So there are two more questions. It's not directly, but it would be helpful for you if you help us to answer that. So first question we do have from Akif Choudhury. So after graduating or before graduation, is the PLC knowledge or PLC courses are beneficial for us? How, what do you recommend? Or as a beginner, how can I start my research?
I mean, there are two cases. PLC, I mean, programmable logic controller. If you go to big industries, you will be observing these controllers there. So generally, they use their own language to control their machine. So that is PLC. So it's not necessary that you have to learn, but if you can learn this, so it's not very difficult. Even nowadays, you'll be having some online PLC trainer. and coder. So it's very, very easy. You can write the code in the machine language online and can run this, and you can see the output. So it's not very difficult. You can learn them, and definitely if you have some idea about the PLC, in many industries, you will see that PLC is a very common. So it will be very helpful in the long run.
Yes. Another question is, this was in within the topic for today, is that a distance learning or e-learning is helpful for applied research.
So whether it is helpful or not?
Whether it is helpful or not, yes, sir.
No, I mean, distance learning was there from a long, long, long time back. So you have to exploit both the situation. If you don't have the opportunity, for example, just for example, those who are living in villages, all on a sudden, it's not possible for them to leave the village and come to Dhaka city and enjoy all the different courses or training programs to be taken. What to do that? In that case, distance learning is required. There is no alternative. So that's what I'm telling here. Many of us, believe me, many of our students nowadays continuously they're using online courses, online credit courses, online paid courses from Bangladesh. What is this? This is distance learning. So the courses are offered from Singapore, China, India, or USA, or European country, and people they're learning from here. So that's why my suggestion is that learning is ever ending. If you have the opportunity, just learn it, no matter where you are, distance or face to face, it will not hamper. If you have the eager to learn, you can learn.
So, distance learning definitely gives us more options than face to face. Face to face have some restrictions, some barriers, uh, like for example, now we are having the webinars and we can have so many international experts and esteemed YP members, speakers from abroad to join us in very short of time, which wouldn't be able to organize such kind of program without this webinar or without this uh, e-learning platform like Zooms or these things. So today, just before we go on, we would like to give floor for Dr. Sajid to give to chair of IEEE Bangladesh to provide a vote of thanks. But before that, I would like to just give up an overall review what we have done today and what we have gone through. So I have noted down some stuff. So first we started at 10 with Shelia Sanas ma'am, chair of IEEE Bangladesh section, with giving the program vision and brief. And then we, okay, it would be better if I can share. Let me share this. Okay, so first we have an inauguration session given by Celia Shanas ma'am. Then we got a presentation from Mohammad Qasim Pasta, Associate Professor, Usman Institute, YP Karachi. He was actually giving us very good discussion, a very good discussion on e-learning and bridge between knowledge-based and skill-based. And he gave us a very insightful idea why we need skill, why we need a skill-based education. Knowledge is not, from his point of view, still knowledge is important, but yeah, skill-based profession is more important, getting more important, and requires more time to practice. And then we discussed Sabeshachi Mukhopadhyay. He joined us and he gave us a problem-solving approaches in post-COVID scenarios by technologists, and he gave us a very good, some of the very good examples on the practical problem solving scenarios. And then we got Dr. Jaber, Vice Chair of IEEE Hyderabad, and he actually gave us some insight of e-learning, bridge on knowledge-based and skill-based profession. And he also gave us some examples on data analysis and how we can do some practical-based problem solving as well. And then we got, after, unfortunately, we missed him because he had a job. We couldn't able to listen to him, but hopefully later on we can bring him for a session. And then we got Krishna Kumar, researcher, and he is an active researcher who is working in IIT Rupre, who have given us some views on sustainable energy development and hydropower plant, and he given us some aspects how this IoT can be used during the COVID-19, after the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Then Zafi Shapri Choudhury, he actually given us a very good presentation for his company and sustainable future growth, how he is coping with and how he is bringing different IoT devices and IoT solutions to market, Bangladeshi market, and how we are developing it. Then we got Dr. Tausif Ahmed, IoT prospects of e-learning, education, and skill enhancement training. We have a very long discussion on that. Then it was a great pleasure to have Ramesh as well from Business Excellence. He talked us on STEM educations. And then finally we get Ashish Khanna. We have a long discussion on this with him as well. It was regarding sustainable growth, survive after post-pandemic era. He have discussed with e-learning as well, what he's doing. And then finally we got Fatah sir discussing the necessity of community engagement, sustainable project design. And it is very, very important because Bangladesh government have signed up for SDG goals, and we are a part of SDG goals. So everything will be depending on the government focus. So government is giving focus on these 17 SDG goals. So eventually our job, our everything, because the government is focusing on that. Like for an example, nowadays we see lots of undergraduate students, they're going for power sectors, power jobs, because there are more jobs facilities there. And it's very important to know about these SDG goals, where the government is planning and what we should be doing to serve in a community and serve as a Bangladesh person. So this was what we have done. And now I'm just going to share a little bit about our behind the screen. So behind the event, we do appreciate a lot of help from Professor Shailesh Anas ma'am for her support and giving us all the speakers. We appreciate Dr. Shazid sir, Chair of IEEE Young Professionals, for his support. I was the part of it. And Tanvir Hussain, who have taken care of the IEEE Young YP part, everything from posting to everything. We got Asaf, Chair AIUB, Shotyaki Banik. He been working very hard from last 2 days, especially making the schedule yesterday. It was a very hectic, and arranging all the design stuff. Then Maisha Tafannum, we got her support for emails, sending emails. Asaf was mainly responsible for registration and forms. Then we got his vice chairs from each student branches to support us. Hopefully they are here as well. And Deon, Mehnaz, Shumir, and Zaman, they were with us. And the step you are seeing, this logo was designed by Rizwan design executive from IEEE Student Branch, also help from Akash and Faisal from NSU. They are giving a good support for designing the stuff, and definitely we cannot forget the ambassadors who created the network, the wide network, and we got these massive registrations. Throughout the day, we got actually, I was monitoring the attendance, and we can see at least there was continuously at least 70 to 90 participants. There was never less than 70 participants. Sometimes, one time it was 69, but mostly it was 17 over some participants. So, Fabisha Sadat, Yala, Arifur Rahman, Mehdi, Sadia. I won't be finishing because we have got so many ambassadors. So I'll be thanking everyone on behalf of this organizing committee, all the participants. So now I will give the floor to Sajid sir.
Thank you so much. Can I actually share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, first of all, for all the participants and all the volunteers who came and made this STEP event happen. So Dr. Tansir sir, he did a really good job of acknowledging all the volunteers and talking about the behind the scenes of the STEP event. So I just want to first emphasize that I thank all the speakers who came and delivered their talk, and especially I would, although it's marked here that Professor Celia Shahnaz is a speaker here, actually she worked day and night to bring all the speakers, and usually it's the chair's headache to manage the speakers and everything, but for this event actually the section chair herself took the initiative and then organized each and every one of the speakers and gave us an entire lineup, which was really helpful for us. Otherwise, it would be difficult for us to get so many different speakers from different regions and get the international field. And I also want to specially acknowledge Dr. Sheikh Anwarul Fattah sir, because during our executive committee meeting, he actually was suggesting that we take our STEP to the new level. So if you attended previous STEP events, you know that usually students branch, they take the initiative to organize the STEP events. However, this year, Fattah sir said that YP itself should take the initiative, and then the student branches can support the event. And indeed, we are very grateful to get 3 of the top IEEE student branches of our country, AIUB student branch, IEEE BUET student branch, and IEEE NSU student branch. And we also wanted for the leadership development for our flagship events to be organized by the vice chairs of YP. So we have 3 vice chairs, and I'm really grateful to Dr. Tansir Ali sir for taking the initiative. He actually wrote a proposal for STEP. As you know that YP Global actually funds the STEP events, and then afterward he worked as the person in charge of this event, and actually he took care of corresponding with the volunteers and approving the flyer and every aspect of it. And he actually showed his leadership capability and how to manage an event of this magnitude. I also want to acknowledge all these volunteers. Dr. Tansir already showed their detailed designations. So they all worked really hard on making the flyer, and Rizwan actually came up with a really nice banner. So you can always see that when a professional does the banner designs, it's much different and much more attractive than what we amateur volunteers at YP can do. So I'm really grateful to all of you who contributed to the event. And also for the YP Bangladesh volunteers, some volunteers were more actively involved in this particular event. So Dr. Tansir Ali and Tanvir Hossain, they worked closely to make the STEP event happen. Shovana Mustahid Duti, she was supposed to take care of the social media, but unfortunately she was ill with COVID, and so Tanvir actually took care of the social media part, and Farhan helped with the website. Also, I want to share some of our best practices from last year. So these were some of our events last year. I want to emphasize that we did have a STEP event, which was physical, and the COVID-19 reality has made us move to virtual events. So, and we had SPIC, Student Professional Awareness Conference, and most of our events were focused on building partnership or mentoring the student branches. So any of the student branches, if you want our cooperation or our volunteering help to organize events, we are more than happy to help you in this regard. Also, I want to share the best practices of 2020. And if we say that the best practices of 2020, firstly, we all need to follow the best practices against COVID-19, which is we need to wash our hands, we need to socially isolate ourselves or physically distance from infected people, and reduce the spread of contamination. And with that, also we have our best practices, such as we had the YP track in the IEEE 10 SIMP conference. We had exploring research opportunity on the interface of engineering and biology amidst the COVID-19 reality. It was organized on 27 June, where we wanted to show how engineers and biologists can work together to solve the problems related to the post-COVID era. We are organized our own membership development event, and we had a global meetup at the Leadership in Challenging Times in the which was co-located in IEEE International COVID Congress, or ICC 2020. And this global meetup actually had a global reach thanks to the International COVID Congress, and we had about 28 different countries represented in registration, and we had more than 11 different nationalities who presented their YP best practices in our event. We also organize weekly or twice a week meetings with Meet the Young Professionals series, where we are inviting the non-resident young professionals who were once associated with the IEEE Bangladesh section, and they share their current research work. So be it machine learning, or if they work on a particular company, if it's a neural link or some cutting edge technology, or even if it's a global wide impact of their work, such as the semiconductor industries, Moore's law or future of computing, or the memory technology. So these are some of our upcoming events. So we plan to have the Meet the Young Professional series talk by Dr. Ahmed Zubair on the next, this will happen on this Wednesday. The date is later Saturday, but it's going to happen on September 9th. So he's a postdoc at MIT, and he would be talking about wideband semiconductor devices for high power and high frequency electronics. We are planning to invite on September 12th, Dr. Himadri Shekhar De. So he works on Micron technology, which is one of the largest memory technology developers in the world. So he's going to be talking about his take on the working on the semiconductor industry, the opportunities, skill sets, and management. We are also planning to bring Dr. Shama Naz Islam, who's a senior lecturer in the School of Engineering at Deakin University, Australia. So she's going to be talking about Internet of Things or on her own research. So these are some of our Meet the Young Professional series talks. We also plan to organize a workshop on improving scientific writing, where we hope to get Professor Christine Sainani from Stanford University. She has a really popular webinar or online course series from Stanford Online and the Coursera called Writing in the Sciences. So she has consented to act as a resource person, and we would have a live session with her. So also you need, we want you to stay connected. This event was primarily for the undergraduate students who are going to graduate soon and then move into the young professional or their professional career. And always remember that IEEE YP is your professional home. You may go to one job and you can also not stay in that job after 6 months and move to another place. So always remember that, be proud to introduce yourself as a member of IEEE, and IEEE it will be your professional destination or professional address. So please stay connected with us. We have our website, we have our very active Facebook page, we have our own YouTube channel where hopefully we would upload the recording of this STEP event. We have you can stay connected with me. I have my LinkedIn and Twitter account. So please stay connected. And the feedback form has been already shared in the chat box. Please give us feedback regarding what kind of events you want, because we have to always think of the future, and YP is a transitionary type of organization. So I won't be part of the YP in probably 3 or 4 years, but you are going to be a part of the YP organization. So please give feedback so that we can continuously improve our events and host more events which would be beneficial to our younger members. So with this, I would like to really thank everyone for coming to the event, all the participants, all the organizers. And I guess, Dr. Tansir, the floor is yours again.
That's okay. That was the last session with Dr. Sajid, Chair of IEEE, to give vote of thanks to everyone. I did stole some of his task, thanking others. It's a great pleasure. I find it very pleasure to appreciate all the hard works from the volunteers and everyone. And thank you once again. I would request everyone who haven't submitted the feedback, we will also send you through the email. Once you fill the feedback, you will receive a certificate. Again, there is a lots of work going on, so please bear with us. We will try to circulate the certificate as soon as possible. If you have any questions you want to ask to any of our speakers, you can send it to us, YP, and we will try to communicate with the speakers and share it, try to contact with them to get an answer if possible, if needed. And thank you very much. Hopefully that's fine. Celia ma'am, are you there? Should we conclude? I suppose. Fatah sir, do you want to say something, or should we conclude? Sir, you are muted, sir. Yes, sir.
No, I should say, like, you have done a great job. So it's our vision was to make us stay international. Yes. So to show other people that our YP can do a very unique step. So it is done. I am happy. So I guess all the participants are happy, and I'm sure they will be joining all the events what Sajid has said, our upcoming events. They'll be stay tuned with us to get the benefit of all your passionate volunteering jobs, what you are doing for them. So hopefully they will not miss you. And I think it's a bonding between you and the young leaders who spoke today, as well as the participants who are here. So I think it's a great opportunity for you to have a new bonding with 70, 80, what you said, newcomers. Thank you all.
Thank you, and hopefully it works. Our main focus was to get more members for YP. Hopefully you continue your membership, and we will see you next year as well in YP. Thank you. With that, we would like to conclude today's STEP 2020. Goodbye. Stay well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.